Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year to get over my fear of public speaking and social anxiety. And this is video number 162 of 365. I am almost at 700 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. This is so much fun. And I'm almost there. Help me get to 1,000. Let's go. This is awesome. I love it. I appreciate all of you, and I love your comments. They're so encouraging, and I'm glad that some of this crazy stuff I'm talking about every day is helping you guys. So I'm thankful for that. So today I want to talk about abundance again. We're just going to keep on going, keep doing these check-ins every day. We notice a lot of lack around us, I've noticed. And if we have a lot of lack, well, that means we have an abundance of lack, which means we have abundance still. So I want you to practice noticing abundance around you. I had a couple clients do this and manifested some big money and big loans forgiven. I have done this in the past too, to create loans be forgiven and money come in, and this stuff really works. But the main thing is, we always say like, this technique really works, and manifestation works in this way, and all these things work. Everything works when you believe it works. First of all, you get to decide. You get to say, this works for me. So it is in your life. Like, as you wish, you will receive. And so anything that you decide that you are, that is who you are. And so you are the master of your reality. Keep that in mind. Like, you're the master. Nobody is deciding anything for you. The most valuable skill that we have is being able to choose. I mean, we can choose anything we want. That's like the coolest thing. We could choose at any time how we want to be and what we want. And so the goal is to act as if you already have what you want. And it's like, well, how do we do that? So the issue with some of this stuff, I think, that we focus on too much is the lack of having the thing or being the person and that type of thing. And then we wonder the how, like the logic comes in, the logical brain comes in and says, well, after I said this affirmation that I am this person, I can see that I don't have this yet. And how could this even happen, this outlandish thing that I'm wanting? And how could I turn into this brand new person and transform my life and all these things? So I say, like, take the pressure off of everything. Take the pressure off everything. Just remember, you're here to have fun and be in joy. And enjoy life. Enjoy life in joy. And so remember that as your foundation, okay? You want to have fun. Because when you get the manifestation, the fun's kind of over at that point. You're like, oh man. Because like the manifestation, like the wanting of something, creates this like summoning of this life force that's kind of going through you. And it gets you excited. When you visualize something, it gets you excited. And then it's almost like a challenge. It's like, oh man, this feels so good. And then once you get the thing or the person or the job or whatever, it's kind of like, oh, I got it. Okay, what's next? So when you say what's next, then the excitement starts all over again. And so the point is that we're never done. So you're always going to have something that you're wanting, and you're always going to have something that you're striving toward. So why not just enjoy the moment right now? You're never, there's no there, as they say. I heard Eileen Wilder say this. I'm sure other people have said this too. There's no there, which means you think you're trying to get somewhere. You're trying to get there. When I get there, I'm going to be happy. I cannot stand when I hear that, because I know that that person is delaying their happiness. Stop delaying your happiness and be happy now. And this is what I want to get out as a PSA to everybody. I've had to practice this myself. I still practice it during the day because, like, well, I'm almost 43 years old, and I'm assuming that, there's that word, assuming. Perimenopause is upon us at around this age. I didn't even know what perimenopause was until like a couple years ago. I had never even heard of the term. I don't know why. It was never talked about. And of course, when people are talking about things so much, you identify with it. So I said, I'm not going to have perimenopause. I'm not going to experience all those symptoms. And so I swear, when I started learning about it, I was like, oh my God, I think I have perimenopause. And I was like, no. So I kind of am not identifying with that anymore. And I'm just like, okay, let's just let's just forget about this aging stuff. Let's just enjoy living in joy. And so when I feel my hormones, of course, going up and down, as women do, you know, or it really does happen biologically. We do have these biological things. Or is it something that we've bought into as a collective, as a belief? I don't know. But I know in my world, I can change my hormones. And that's my goal. It's like, you know, when I feel them dipping or whatever, and I'm feeling down, I start to just hammer into my mind good thoughts. And anybody can practice this. Men, women, doesn't matter if you're in perimenopause or you're not, or you're 12 years old or you're 85 years old. Doesn't matter. We need to be injecting happiness into our minds every single day, all day, all day, all day. And so one of the things I had my client do, one of the clients, was to notice abundance all around her. So abundance meaning, you know, even the air you breathe. Like, I've got enough oxygen. I've got tons of oxygen. I've got furniture to sit on. I've got a shower to take a shower in. I've got clothes on my back and in my closet. I've got a bunch of shoes. I've got plenty of food in the fridge right now. And even if you don't have these things, say you're homeless and you have nothing, that is like, I know that sounds like really scary, but is it? Or is it like the best place one could be? Because it's like you've never been so focused on what you're actually wanting now that you're in this awesome place, like Esther says, Esther Hicks, you know, shooting off rockets of desire. And your vortex is holding all these rockets of desire, and it's all in there. It's all in the vortex. She calls it getting in the vortex. Well, the vortex to me is just like, we're just basically stepping into joy. That's really what it is. We just train ourselves into joy and peace. I love peace. Oh, peace feels so good. Peace and excitement. Those are like my two favorite things to feel. And so at any moment, I just try to feel either one of those feelings. And man, it feels so good when you practice it. I promise you guys, it feels so good. And it feels so much better than being worried about money or being worried about your relationship or being worried about your job. Oh, I hate my job. I hate my spouse. I don't have enough money. I've worked my whole life and I don't have enough. I'm never catching up. I'm too old. I'm too young. I should be further along in life. These are the thoughts that go through our heads, and worse. Watch your self-talk. Watch that, because everything you're saying, look at it like a spell. Okay, remember my channel is Life Spells. Okay, so everything you say is a spell on your life. Look at it this way, and really be choosy with what you're saying to yourself and what you're thinking about yourself. And start your day off saying, I wonder what exciting thing is going to happen to me today. Something always exciting happens to me every single day. Start your day off like that. Open your arms up really wide and really big and say, oh, I can't wait to see what this day is going to bring. Do something physical to kind of open your heart. I'm a yoga person, and I will probably be teaching some yoga eventually when I get the guts to. But if you'll do like this, hold your hands up like this. This is called cactus. And this is what they call a heart opener. So you're going to kind of arch your back a little bit, stick your boobies out or your chest out, and just breathe and hold this open. This is a heart opening yoga kind of exercise pose. I don't know. And it's called cactus. And so you just hold it like this. You can close your eyes and breathe. You could do this in the morning, every morning, and say, I wonder what this day is going to bring me. I'm so excited to see what will happen. And then make a point throughout your day to notice the abundance around you. Notice the abundance of leaves on a tree. If you have nothing else better to look at, you'll find something good. In everything bad that you see, there's always something good, always. So look at how many leaves are on the trees, how many leaves have fallen on the ground, how the leaves are turning. If you live in a place where the leaves turn colors. The ocean has an abundance of water in it. Anything you can think of to get creative. There's an abundance of bugs out in nature. If you just have to stick with nature, stick with nature. But look around your home. Look around where you're living. Even if you're staying on your friend's couch. I've done that before after my divorce. I was staying on my friend's couch. And then I slept on this little cot for like a few months. And that was like very humbling and very calm and cozy and peaceful too. And that was kind of like rock bottomy for me back in the day. But I was hopeful and I was cultivating peace inside myself. I just didn't know I was doing it. I was turning into a brand new person back then. And I've turned into a brand new person this year. I think we turn into a brand new person every day. What is tomorrow going to bring for you? It's going to bring the same thing like Groundhog Day if you don't start changing your thoughts every day and if you don't start looking for abundance. And another thing you can do is write down. I would suggest 5 to 10 things. I mean, I'm big on things, so do 10. Like do 10 things and write things down that you're thankful for in present tense, like they already happened. Like it's the future and they've already happened now. So you say, thank you for this. Thank you for that. People talk about gratitude, and I learned through Esther Hicks and Abraham Hicks that gratitude is actually not the best word to use. It's actually appreciation. And I learned that years ago, and I thought, man, that really sounds right, because everybody uses gratitude. But gratitude kind of carries a little bit of a, she called it like a white knuckling energy behind it. Kind of like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that this happened. Instead of, I appreciate this happening. And I like to use thankful and appreciate instead of grateful. So I don't know, it's just the energy behind it, but that's just my opinion. But I like to say I'm thankful or I appreciate this. So write down 10 things that are like, act like they happened already. I am thankful or I appreciate or I'm grateful, whichever you want to use. Write them down and read them every single day for like a week. Just read them, write them down and read them and watch what happens. And when you read them over and over, I know that like at first some people don't believe that it's a big deal to write something and then read it over and over. But what it does is all these things we're doing are kind of like drowning out the gangster in your mind that's trying to bring you back down to the old self. And we're trying to become a new self. So we've got to start noticing things that we've never really noticed before on purpose. We have to think on purpose. And it's not that we're casting aside anything, because you can't exclude anything. Like there's no exclusion in the universe. Like whatever you say, like, I don't want that, universe hears you want that. It doesn't hear no. It hears yes to everything. That's how abundant it is and excited it is. If it were an entity in itself, it's so excited to give you everything that it gives you everything that you say you don't want to. So say everything in like present tense. I am this. I have this already. I'm so thankful and grateful and appreciative, if I could talk. I'm appreciative that I have this already or that I am this already. It's a really powerful technique to use. And as you read these things over and over that you've written, you'll start to actually feel like they're true. And during your day, you'll kind of remember reading them. So as you're reading them, you're creating this memory. You're holding up the piece of paper that you wrote on or the notebook. You're looking at it. You're reading it. You're touching it. So you're creating a memory right there that your brain during the day is going to go back to. So all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, I am this. I have this. I appreciate this. And then you'll start having new internal dialogue going on that's going to drown out, sometimes automatically, the negative internal dialogue that you've got, that you feel like you can't control. So that's one powerful technique you can use. I love doing that, and I have found that whenever I start to get down, I remember that this is just a game we're playing. We're here to have and experience joy and peace. So it's up to us to decide, okay, what if you're alone in your world? This world is just energy and nothing exists until you say it does. So you get to decide and design your everyday life. So what do you start with? You start with yourself. Start with the foundation. What do I think about myself? How do I feel about myself? What do I tell myself about myself every single day? Focus on yourself first. Build the foundation internally. And then start looking for abundance everywhere. You could even say like, every day is a blank slate. So today, how am I going to design my life? If you go to a job that you don't enjoy, which most people in the world do, and that most people wake up and their bank account is not where they want it to be. I would say this is, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's pretty high. I remember seeing that like 80% of people don't like their jobs. It's just so sad. But what I want you to do at that job is, there's two things at your job. Notice the abundance. Just start saying, I'm thankful that I get a paycheck. Because I'm sure you are thankful you get a paycheck. So that has no resistance in it. You want to decide and pull out of your day the things that have no resistance in them. Because when you have resistance, that is pushing your money away. So you could say, man, my thoughts are really pushing my money away. So I gotta start thinking better thoughts. My thoughts are really pushing my person away. So I've got to think better thoughts. You got to start talking to yourself like that, reminding yourself that we're switching things up internally. We got to switch up this foundation inside. So at your job, you're going to look for, man, I'm so thankful that I have this one coworker that I really connect with. Or I smiled at somebody and they smiled back at me today. I'm thankful that I get a break every day. Whatever it is, on your drive there, do something different. Listen to a podcast or start programming in those positive affirmations. Maybe make a list of affirmations that you like. And if you need help, request it from me in the comments and I'll give you a good list that I love to use. Just start deciding that you're going to look at things differently, because as you look at things differently, they will change. That's called the observer effect in quantum physics. What you observe changes by the way you observe it. People, again, start with yourself. I would start with self because we muddy the waters everywhere when we look outside of ourselves. But start with self, and then you can start looking around your world and be like, whoa, when I do think of this person in this way, they do change. Wow. I promise the energy will shift and you'll see changes outside of you. But they've got to start inside of you first. You've got to start noticing the abundance first. And so look around and list all the things in your head that are positive, instead of noticing the same feeling, because every time you go to that job, you're in the same frequency that you left yesterday. You're in the same exact energy. That's why it feels the same, because you haven't shifted your internal dialogue about the job. So you gotta trick it. You gotta trick it to look for the abundance. Anything that you like about it. Same with your bank account. Play the game of, I'm thankful that I have a bank account. I'm thankful that I have a check going in there every week or every 2 weeks. You got to get really, real small with things sometimes. Yeah, it doesn't have the exact amount in there right now, but when you start to write it down and you tell yourself, I'm abundant, and you start noticing abundance around you, things will shift very quickly, I promise you. But the key is, do not, as they say, do not waver. Waver means you're wobbly. You're wobbling. You're on like a tightrope and you're wobbling. And so we want to be straight on that tightrope, straight up and down, and walking across it really smoothly. And that means not contradicting what you're telling yourself. That's it. We don't doubt it, which means you let go of the how it's going to happen. You let go of the when, the why, everything. You just decide that you already are this person. You already have this thing. And it took a while for me to let that sink in as well, because the logical brain comes in and starts to kind of blow the building up. And we've got to tell ourselves the logical mind does not need to be in this. This is all illogical. Things do not come in a logical way a lot of the time either. They kind of come in a weird way, which is kind of exciting. That's what is so fun about life. Things come out of the blue, as they say, out of the oblivious is really what it is. You're creating it all. You're generating it all. You're noticing a new perspective. Also, everything that you're wanting is already done. So remember that manifestation really means that you're just shifting your perspective so you can actually see something that's been there the whole time. Think about that. It's already there. It's been there the whole time. It's just invisible to you. You can't see it. But how many things have been there in your past that have been there forever and you didn't see them? You didn't even notice them, but they were there the whole time. Or your partner was there the whole time. You guys had mutual friends for years and years, and probably passed each other every day somehow, maybe lived next door to each other, never even knew it. It's things like that. Like, look back and see if there's any patterns like that. It's really fun to just think about that stuff. I don't know. But everything is created. It's just waiting for you to change your perspective. So I have found, again, the quickest way to do that is to watch what you're saying to yourself and watch what you're identifying with. Who am I being today? Am I being a person who complains? Am I being a person who's looking for lack and noticing lack? What are you noticing during the day? Really get real with yourself. What am I noticing? Am I noticing lack or am I noticing abundance? Am I noticing that I'm feeling sad or am I noticing that I'm feeling happy? Really look at those things. Am I feeling fearful or am I feeling love today? And as you become aware of where you're actually at emotionally and where you're feeling it in your body, you can start to kind of figure out, okay, what belief must I have that I'm thinking must be true about myself to experience this emotion right now? If it's like not favorable to feel that way to you, whatever it is. So you can go as deep as you want with this stuff, or you can just train your imagination and your world will show you what you've been imagining. And remember, you're imagining 24/7. So you might as well build the muscle of your imagination. We have to remind ourselves daily. Like, this imagination thing is, I didn't know until, the last few years that it is the most important thing to work on, is learning how to focus your attention. And because again, like, we are focused on our intended outcome of whatever it is we're wanting, probably like 5 or 10% of the day, maybe. I don't know. That might even be too much. I don't know. We are noticing, let's say 90 to 95% of the day, we're noticing that we don't have what we're wanting. And we go back to the old thoughts we were thinking yesterday. So really think about that. And what would happen if you shifted your thoughts to where you're 100% thinking about what you're wanting and acting as if you have it. It needs to feel normal and natural to you. Of course I have this in my life right now. Of course I have this. Whatever you say goes. Whatever you decide goes. This is your world. You get to choose. You have the power to choose. Nothing is more powerful than choice. So you have the power to choose. What if everything is a blank slate every single day? You have a blank slate. Open your heart up. Do your cactus. Open your heart every day when you wake up and say, man, I cannot wait to see what happens today. That's super exciting, because something exciting happens to me every day. When you start saying that, I started doing this today. I started saying, I was like, oh, I've got almost 700 subscribers. And then I was like checking throughout the day and I was like, oh man, I don't have I'm not at 700 yet. I'm almost there, but I'm not there. I kept saying to myself, I'm not there yet. And I had to catch myself. And then I was like, no, I've got my channel's blowing up and I've got 100,000 subscribers already. And then I went to, I've got 1 million subscribers already. And I just started thinking really big. And so that is just the key to this, is catching yourself when you're noticing something that you don't have yet. That's the point. Like, because I told myself, I'm like, okay, if this universe is totally abundant, which it is, and we can have anything we want, go big. Start telling yourself you already are that person that already has what you're wanting. And watch what happens, because you're going to feel better inside. Your emotions are going to feel better. Your body's going to feel better. And you're just going to naturally just start thinking that way. And it's going to replace all the crappy thoughts you had. It's just amazing how it works. So keep working on this. And if this helped you, which I hope it did, let me know below. Let me know what you've been manifesting lately, what's been happening for you. I love to hear. And share this with somebody who you think might benefit from this. And please like and subscribe if you'd like to. I bet you I'm going to hit that 700 soon. So I'm looking forward to it. And yes, you guys take good care of yourselves. And remember that you are loved, and what you appreciate appreciates. So appreciate yourself. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.